Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. So in today's video, I'm doing another fall inspired aquarium nail set, and this is my last fall aquarium nail set for 2023. I will be starting my winter and holiday theme nail sets very soon. So as you can see here, I'm using my 3XL full covered square nail tips and I'm just finding my sizes. I like to label my nail tips so it's easier for me to find my sizes. Now I'm just going to be measuring the nail tip on my nail and marking off where my nail starts, but I make sure to leave a tiny bit of room. So that's what I'm doing here, so I know where the base of my aquarium tank will be. So I have to usually do a few measurements and look at it from both angles just to make sure that I have enough space for my natural nail. And I did the rest off camera. I just wanted to show you guys how many times I actually measure it and change the measurements and stuff like that before I actually reach to where I want the base to be. So I did purchase some Modelones gel glue on Amazon. If I remember, I will leave the link in the description below. And usually one container of this rhinestone glue could do about 3 aquarium nail sets. So right here I'm using my paper nail form and I'm just placing some of the rhinestone glue on the paper nail form to form a square or a rectangle, whichever one works for you, but I did a square this time. And I did a thin layer of this, and it needs to be thin. However, don't do it too thin. It needs to have some level of thickness. So I'm just applying the rhinestone glue to the nail form, and when I am finished I would cure that for 30 seconds. Now I'm just removing it from the nail form and this is how it looks. Now I'm just going to be measuring it to the full covered nail tips and cutting it into a triangle. I like to make the base of the aquarium tank into a triangle first. However, you could do it how you feel comfortable doing it. And then I bend the tip of the triangle so that it is easy to place in the nail tip, like how I'm doing right here. And I make sure to bend it really good so that it leaves a kind of ledge so that it is easy for it to adhere to the nail tip. Then I just placed some of my Makartt rhinestone glue. I like to use the one with the nozzle for this part. So I place a bead of that where the red marking is, and then I pick up the triangle base with a tweezer and apply some pressure, and I flash cure it for 20 seconds or maybe 10 seconds I think. And this is how it looks, but it was not adhered properly, so I had to redo this. Then I made sure to apply to my nail to ensure that the base of the aquarium tank wasn't touching my finger, and it fit well. So one thing I didn't do was place this nail tip into the 48 watts nail lamp so that it could cure well. I basically only used my LED torch to do this nail tip. So that's one thing I forgot to do. So now I'm just using the rhinestone glue just to fill in the base of the aquarium tank and flash curing when necessary. And I make sure to keep my thumb under the base of the aquarium tank so that it doesn't move. Always keep your thumb at the base of the aquarium tank so that it doesn't move, and I flash cured when necessary, and then I should have placed this nail tip in the lamp right here for 30 seconds, but I didn't do that. I cut the excess off and then filed it, and I made sure to file with the nail tip facing downward so that none of the dust or a lot of the dust wouldn't get into the nail, because I realized when the dust gets into the nail and I use rubbing alcohol to remove the dust, it leaves this white cast on the nail. And I spoke about that a while ago in one of my last aquarium tank videos, but I would say it again. It's best to do it like that. Don't allow too much of rubbing alcohol to get inside of the aquarium tank, because most times it would leave this white cast. Now moving on to the ring nail, I'm going to be doing the same thing. So I cut the gel into a triangle, and then I bend the tip and applied the triangular base to the nail tip and cured it for 10 seconds. And then I am going to be filling in the base of this tank with my gel glue. I'm making sure that my thumb is positioned under the base so that it doesn't move, and flash curing when necessary. For this nail, I did place it into the 48 watts nail lamp when I was finished with this section right here. Now I'm just going to be cutting the excess, and then I filed to get that straight line and make sure that the nail tip is facing downwards so that the dust wouldn't get into the nail. A lot of dust wouldn't get into the nail, and then I dusted off the excess. For most of them, I did not use rubbing alcohol. I made sure to dust off the excess most times. Now on the same nail form, I'm going to be applying some of the rhinestone glue to that nail form and making a larger rectangular piece. So this rectangular gel piece is going to be fitting 2 of the nails, so I needed to make it a bit larger than I would usually do. And I'm just making sure to form a rectangle and making sure that this is thin but not too thin. And when I'm satisfied with how it looks, I would cure for 30 seconds. Now after curing, I'm just going to be flipping this over on the other side because the other side is smoother than this side. So I flipped it over, and I had to apply some of the rhinestone glue to the nail form and just stick the rectangular gel onto it it was very temporary, but I needed it to stay put. So I did that, and then I just flash cured it for like 5 seconds, if so much. So we are going to be using this black gel polish from Modelones, and I'm just going to be placing the gel polish onto the rectangular gel. So this is the backing of my aquarium tank, and I'm going to be applying some black gel polish to it, and I cured for 30 seconds, and then I did a second layer and cured that as well for 30 seconds. So after curing that, I'm going to be using gel top coat to protect the black and to make sure that it doesn't bleed into my aquarium tank. So I'm using the gel top coat on top of the black gel polish. Do not use gel base coat because gel base coat is really sticky. Gel top coat is not sticky, and I cured that for 30 seconds. Then I'm just using some rubbing alcohol just to test to make sure that the black gel polish was covered so that it doesn't bleed inside of the nail tip, and I make sure to clean the back of it where I applied the rhinestone glue to stick it onto the nail foam. So I cleaned both sides of the backing. However, the side of the backing that is going to be inside of the aquarium is the one that I was painting the black gel polish and the gel top coat. And now I'm just going to be sticking on the nail tip onto the backing of the aquarium tank. So I just placed the rhinestone glue around the perimeter of the pinky nail, and then I placed it on the black piece of gel and applied pressure and flash cured it for 5 to 10 seconds. Then I did the same thing for the index nail, and when I was finished, I cured in my bigger nail lamp for 30 seconds. Now this is after curing. Now I'm just going to be separating the two with my scissors. So I just cut right in between the gel and this is how it looks. Now moving on, I'm going to be doing the same thing for the other nails. However, I'm not going to be polishing the backing of the aquarium tank with black gel polish. I'm just going to be sticking on the nail tip onto the backing, which is a clear backing. So this is going to be a clear aquarium tank, and I tried to place the other nail on the same backing, but it was too small. Unfortunately, I didn't make the backing of this tank to fit two of the nails. So yes, I did the rest off camera. Now I am going to be filling in the spaces at the sides of the aquarium tanks. So I'm using my Makartt rhinestone glue and I'm just going over the sides of the nails just to fill in any spaces or any holes that there might be, and I flash cure that, and I did that for all of the nails. And when I was finished with all of the nails, I would cure in my bigger nail lamp for 30 seconds. So now I'm just removing the red markings on all of the nails. I'm using rubbing alcohol to do that. Then I'm going to be filing off the excess on the sides of each of the nails. So I'm just going to be doing that with my sanding band. So I'll let this part play out and I'll be back shortly. So there was a lot of dust when I was finished, so I'm just dusting off my hands and I cleaned up my workstation a bit. Then I'm just going to be using some rubbing alcohol just to remove the dust from the nails. Then I filed the sides of the nails with my hand file just to get that crisp shape. So I decided it was time to invest in some syringes and some blunt tip needles. So I purchased this on Amazon and I got a lot for my money and I really like it. If y'all are interested, I would leave a link in the description below so y'all can check it out. So I'm going to be using some black foil glitter leaves and some gold foil glitter leaves for this aquarium nail set. So I'm just placing some of the glitter leaves on my nail palette for easier access. And I'm using some coconut oil and also my dampen dish. I'll be placing my nail tips in the dampen dish just so that I can have easier access to it and just to keep it upright when I am applying all of the glitters and caviar beads inside of the aquarium tank. So these are some of the caviar beads I will be using. I wasn't sure which one I wanted to use, but I knew I wanted to use one of them. But yes, I used the gold caviar beads. So I'm just going to be placing some of the gold caviar beads in the aquarium tank. Then I am going to be placing some of the coconut oil. So when I placed the blunt tip needle in the aquarium tank and squeezed out the liquid, it clogged up the hole for some weird reason. It wasn't flowing as nice as I wanted it to, so I had to resort to dripping the coconut oil into the backing of the aquarium tank, and then it dripped into the aquarium tank. So by directly putting the needle into the aquarium tank, it was not working for some weird reason. So by dripping it into the aquarium tank, it worked a lot better. So that's one of the reasons why the backing of the aquarium tank needs to be a little higher so that it could catch the liquid before it drips into the aquarium tank. I hope I'm making sense. That's one of the reasons it is important for the backing to be higher than the actual aquarium tank. It's also so that when you are applying your caviar beads, it has something to flow into. If I'm making sense, I'm really not sure if I'm making sense, but it's always important to have the backing of your aquarium tank higher than the actual nail. So anyway, I just placed some more of the caviar beads into the tank, and then I use a Q-tip to clean the opening of the aquarium tank with some rubbing alcohol in it. And then I'm going to be closing up the hole with some of my Modelones clear polygel. And if you're interested in purchasing anything from the Modelones website, you can use my code. It will be listed in the description below and also on the screen. So I'm just going to be doing that, and then I flash cured for about 10 seconds, and then I placed it in the nail lamp for 30 seconds. So this is how it looks. Now I'm just going to test it out just to make sure that the caviar beads are moving. And I think it looks really good. Some of the caviar beads were stuck to the base, but most of them were moving, so I was happy about that. So I'm using some rubbing alcohol just to remove any of the oil from the whole nail, and then I placed it back on the nail palette. So I'm going to be doing the same thing for the index nail. And for the index nail, I didn't have the same issue like I did on the pinky nail when I was placing the liquid into the tank, because as you can see, the blunt tip of my needle is in the tank and it isn't clogged or anything, the liquid is moving really well. And I like to apply the liquid first to an aquarium tank most times because I want to ensure that there isn't any leaking anywhere. So I like to fill up my aquarium tank halfway and then place the caviar beads or glitters and then fill up the rest afterwards. However, I did all of that and then filled up my aquarium tank, then to realize or to notice there was a hole in the aquarium tank and it was leaking. So it's pretty weird that the nail is filled halfway and there isn't any leak, but when I filled it to the top with the coconut oil, then I noticed the leak. So that was weird. And the fact that the leak was at the base of the aquarium tank is what is weird to me, because as you can see right here, I'm just applying all of the caviar beads to the nail and the liquid is at the same point that it was before I placed any of the caviar beads into the aquarium tank. So when I filled it to the top right here, after about 3 seconds, you could see how the liquid kept decreasing. It's very subtle, but you could still see it. So when I noticed that, I decided to fill it again because it could never be a leak. Why is the leak now showing up? So yeah, it was a leak. As you can see, it's happening again. So I tried my best to find the leak, so that's why I was wiping the nail with rubbing alcohol just to remove some of the oil so that I can pass my finger over just to make sure that it is a leak. But I just wasn't finding it at the sides of the nails. However, it was actually at the base of the aquarium tank was the leak, which was so weird. But this is like the second time this has happened to me. I filled the tank halfway and you don't see any leak. The liquid stays the same in the nail. However, when I fill up the liquid fully, that is when you notice the leak. So it's really weird, but it is what it is. So I ended up finding the leak, and as I said, it was at the base. So I had to empty the tank and I'm using my lint-free wipe so that all of the caviar beads do not fall out, and I'm just using some of the rhinestone glue and fixing the leak. And I flash cured for 5 to 10 seconds and then I cured in my bigger nail lamp for 30 seconds. And then I refilled the tank. So this is how it looks. Now I'm going to be doing the same thing on another nail. However, this time I am using some of the fall glitter leaves. So I just fill my tank right here, and I usually like to fill it halfway or sometimes 3/4 of the way and then apply my caviar beads and glitters. So that is what I'm going to be doing right now on the ring nail. Then I'm using some gold metal leaves as well. then some caviar beads. So now I'm just going to be covering the hole and flash curing for 10 seconds and then curing for 30 seconds. And this is how the nail looks when it's finished curing. And as usual, the fall glitter leaves do not really move that much, but the caviar beads and the gold metal leaves are moving. And this is the thumbnail. As you can see, everything is moving and I really like showing the thumbnail. So yes, this is all of the nails when I am finished. Now I'm going to be clipping off the excess at the tip area of all of the nails. Then I'm just going to file the nails with my hand file just to get that crisp shape and to neaten up the aquarium tanks. And I'm also using my e-file as well to make filing a lot easier. You also have to be very careful when filing these nails because one wrong move and there could be a leak, so be careful doing it. This section of the video is sped up a lot, so it looks like I'm being reckless, but I'm being very careful while doing this. Then I'm just using some rubbing alcohol and a lint-free wipe to remove the dust from the nails. And also to make sure that the nails are shaped to my liking. So we are going to be doing the lazy girl method now. Yes, we are doing the lazy girl method on my aquarium nails. So I'm going to be using the black and the gold just like before. And I'm just going to be applying the glitters to some of the nail tips. So we are starting at the pinky nail right here, and I'm just making sure that the pinky nail is clear and there isn't any cloudiness. So I just placed some of the gel top coat just to ensure that it is clear because it was looking a bit cloudy, so I wanted reassurance on that. But anyway, I'm going to be doing the lazy girl method. So I just placed a bead of the gel top coat in the nail, and then I picked up one of the glitters and placed it on the nail, applied pressure with my dotting tool and flash cured for 5 to 10 seconds. So I'm just going to be doing that on the nail bed area of the pinky nail. So once I'm finished, I look at it from the right side just to make sure that I like how it is looking. Then I'm just going to be applying a layer of gel top coat just to seal in all of the glitters. And then I would place it in the nail lamp to cure for 30 seconds. Then moving on to the ring nail, I'm going to be doing the same thing. And I did the same for the index nail off camera. So now I'm just going to be cutting off the excess glitters from all of the nails. So for some of the nails, I didn't want the whole glitters to be on the nail. I wanted just half of the glitters, if that makes sense. So I'm just cutting off the excess. And I am going to be applying the nail tips to my nails, but before doing that I made sure to apply my sunscreen to my hand because my hand is going to be in the lamp often and I just want to protect my skin. And I did apply my own peel off base coat off camera. So now I'm applying my gel base coat to all of the nails and curing that for 30 seconds. Then I'm going to apply the Aquarium nail tip. So I am using some clear polygel. So I just placed a bead of the clear polygel into the nail tip and I evenly distribute that and then placed it on my nail, apply some pressure and then clean around the cuticle area and the underside of the nail. And when I'm satisfied with how it looks, I would cure that in the nail lamp for 30 seconds. And this is how the pinky nail looks. So I'm just going to be doing the same for the rest of the nails. And this is how the nails are looking so far. Now I'm just using some rubbing alcohol just to remove the stickiness from around the cuticle area, and then I filed around the cuticle area of all of the nails just to remove any of the polygel that may have seeped out when I was applying the nails. Now I'm going to be using Cafe, which is this nude gel polish from Makartt. So I just placed some on my nail palette and I'm going to be doing a French nail on the middle nail. So I'm just drawing the French nail with the nude gel polish right here. And this nail art brush was really stiff, so eventually I had to change and use another nail art brush. And I did 2 layers of this nude gel polish, and cured each layer for 30 seconds. So this is how the middle nail looks, and I did the same for the thumbnail. So now I'm going to be using this black liner gel from Makartt. So I did the first section of this video like 3 weeks prior to doing this section, so I kind of forgot which gel polishes I used at the beginning. If I had remembered, I would have used the same gel polish that I used to do the backing of the aquarium tank, but I forgot, so I ended up using another brand of gel polish. So anyway, I'm just going to be doing this thing on the middle nail right here with the black gel polish. I did 2 layers of that to reach full opacity. And I did the same for the thumbnail. Now I'm just going to be using some striping tape on the nails. So I'm just going to be showing you guys on one of the nails, but I did it on 3 of the nails. And this is how it looks. Now I'm just going to be top coating all of the nails, and this was one of the best parts of this video, just applying the top coat to all of the nails, and it looked so good. Oh my goodness. So I'm just going to let this part play out so that y'all can see how it looks when I top coat all of the nails. And I cured that for 30 seconds. Now I'm going to be top coating the underside of the nails as well. It wasn't necessary for me to top coat the index nail and the pinky nail, but I just decided to do those as well. My intention was really to top coat the underside of the clear nails only. And I cured that as well for 30 seconds. So now I'm going to be using my rhinestone glue from Modelones, and I'm going to be placing these rhinestones on the middle nail and the thumbnail. So I just placed a bead of the Modelones rhinestone glue, and then I placed the rhinestone. And I made sure it was centerized, and then I would flash cure that for about 10 seconds, and then I would cure it in my bigger nail lamp for 30 seconds. And this is how the nails are looking. So I'm just going to be removing some of the striping tape from the underside of the nails, from the sides of the nails, and yeah, this is how the nails are looking. Now I'm just going to be applying my cuticle oil to rehydrate my skin and nails. And this is the finished look, guys. So let me know what you guys think about this aquarium nail set. I think it turned out really good and I'm really proud of this nail design. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. And unfortunately, this is my last fall nail design for 2023 and I can't wait to do my winter and holiday nail designs. Let me know if you all have any ideas or what you all would like to see on my channel. So thanks for watching and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.